Hi, I'm Jennifer and I'm super excited you're here because it happens to be chili pepper season and I'm super excited to make some red chili enchilada sauce. I'm going to be using some dry red chili peppers and processing and making the sauce. I can't wait to show you step by step just how easy it is. Let's get these dry chili peppers processed. I have one bag here of medium and one bag of hot. They're dry and you can buy them per pound or in individual bags, as I purchased these in Hatch, New Mexico. Along with the dry red chili peppers, we're going to need water, salt, and garlic to make our red enchilada sauce. I'm going to be using about 5 to 6 cloves of garlic. I've just roughly chopped it because I'm going to be mixing it in the blender. I'm going to start taking these chili pods and clipping the ends off. I'm just going to use some kitchen shears. You could use a knife. These kitchen shears work really well just to take the end off the chili pepper, just like this. And you can shake all the seeds out if possible. And once you get the end trimmed off and shake out any seeds that are loose, you can just put them in a big bowl fitted with a colander, because we're going to want to wash these really well. Just trim the end off or break the end off and dump out the seeds. Rinse the red chili several times to make sure they're free from sand or any dirt or dust, and then just let them go ahead and continue soaking in the clean water at the end of the process so that the pods can soften. The pods are really starting to soften as they soak in the water. Now it's time for me to get these ready to blend. I'm going to go ahead and add my garlic to the blender. Then I'm going to add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of salt. I prefer to add 2. I don't want it to be too salty. Now I'm going to make 2 large batches. I'm just going to go ahead and add all of the garlic and salt in this first blending batch because I don't want to overdo my blender. It can only fit so much. And then I'll come back and I'll put the rest of the peppers in. But I'm not going to add salt or garlic to the second portion. It'll all go together in one pan. I'm going to start adding my cleaned pods right into the blender. Some of these were really large, so I tore them into smaller pieces. It'll be easier on the blender that way. If they have a little bit of water in them, that's okay because we're going to add water to this anyway. I have my pods in the blender with the salt and garlic. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pour some water in, and I'm going to bring the water just up enough to cover over the pods. You don't want to fill your blender too full because you want to make sure there's room for everything to mix. I put on my lid and now let's get blending. This will take several minutes. During that time, you can wash the rest of your pepper pods. Our first round of red enchilada sauce is blended in the blender. Now I'm going to take it and I'm going to pour it through this colander that I have on my big pan. This is just a nice little colander to drain off any lumps or any seeds that managed to get through or any pieces of skin that got into our sauce. So anything that's remaining that shouldn't be there will be strained out in this colander. The sauce should be nice and thick. Just pour it right in. Once you pour it in, just take a spatula and draw the spatula back and forth across the colander. And all of the juice will go through the sieve, and all of the remaining thick or pulp that didn't get blended will stay in the colander, and you can just scrape that out into the trash. The first half of the peppers have already been processed and put in the pan. Now it's time to add the rest. You don't have to go and wash the blender. Just go ahead and start putting the softened peppers in. And remember, we already put our salt and garlic in with the first batch, so we don't have to go and put it in with this batch because they're all going together in one pan. I've refilled the blender and I'm going to go ahead and put in some more water And we'll let this start blending for several minutes. Depending on the size or power of your blender, you may need to break yours up into 2 segments or 3 segments to get all of the peppers, depending on how many peppers you decide to use. The second portion of our sauce is ready to strain into the colander, right into the pan with our first batch. We'll go ahead and pour the rest of it right in. And here we have our red enchilada sauce. As you can see, 2 1-gallon bags of dry red chili peppers makes quite a big pot of sauce. I'm going to cover this. I have it on low. I'll put the lid on and I'm going to let it start to come to a boil, and then I'll put it all the way down and just let it simmer for at least 20 minutes. Our sauce quickly came to a boil. Now I'm going to turn it down on low and let it simmer for at least 20 minutes with the lid on. I have let my red chili sauce simmer for about 40 to 45 minutes. Now I'm going to let it cool and then I'll dish it up. I'm going to give my sauce one really good stir as it sits to cool. I want to make sure everything is really well blended. As you can see, it's a really nice consistency, not too thick and not too thin. And here's how the delicious red chili enchilada sauce turned out. You can easily store this red chili enchilada sauce for days at a time in the refrigerator, or just put it in a plastic container or zip top or glass container in the freezer, and you could easily take it out and thaw it in the refrigerator overnight, or just set it out to thaw. It thaws quickly and you could easily get it out and make a meal in no time. I'm so happy you are here as I process these dry red chili peppers into a wonderful red chili enchilada sauce. It's absolutely delicious. It's wonderful on eggs or omelets, any type of breakfast foods, and it's really great, of course, for lunch and dinner. I would be so happy if you subscribe, hit the notification bell and the thumbs up button, and I'll see you next time.